Okay, so here we are. Time for some magic. Cash Magic, that's your Instagram handle, isn't it? Let's see what we've done. So we spent quite a bit of time doing hip opening. We did some activation drills for hamstring and glutes. We did some opening up the upper body as well, and we did a lot of footwork drills too. Plus, we did some running drills within the clinic. So there's quite a bit that has gone on between that initial video and this one, and we fit a lot into a short space of time, and you found it quite tiring, and part of the reason for that is because you've got to concentrate hard when you're trying to change automatic movement patterns and retrain neuromuscular pathways. So you did really well. Let's have a look at what we did. So the things that we are hoping to see here that we mentioned in the previous video is that we get a much better pickup of the heel. We got you standing taller and more upright. So before you were angled a little bit forward, and we used the bar on the treadmill to push you nice and tall and get you standing more upright when you were running. And the other thing that we have done, taking all of those lines off, is we reduced the angle of the arms. So you were 81 degrees before. Here you can see at this point, slightly different point to where we measured before. You're at 53 degrees, which is great. Your hand is higher up towards the shoulder socket, and we can see that on the other side, the elbow has driven really nicely backwards. So there's various things that are happening there. What does it look like? What does it create? Let's have a look. Good, and just keep running, nice and tall. Keep the arms going, nice and quick with the arms. All right, so other than having to listen to me with the running cues, what it does is it looks very different. So let's have a look at some of the things there. Now, first of all, I'm not going to talk about this first, but you can see how close this heel is. It's a much shorter limb, so there's much more bend at the knee. Your heel is recovered up towards your bum, which allows the leg to accelerate through much quicker, and I think you're going to see it gets your foot in a much better position to come through and strike the ground. So here we go, knocking it through. Look how high this foot is off the ground. And I think we're going to see really good activation here as it comes back. So it's not struck the ground yet, we're just striking the ground there. So some of the things that we mentioned before, where it struck the ground in relation to your center of mass. So if I draw a line down now from the hip, you can see that this distance here can probably still improve a little bit. I think we were about 2 hours on at this point, so it's a particularly long session for you. And normally this would be work that we do and practice and develop over the course of 6 weeks, but it just shows you how much difference we can make in a short space of time. A much, much smaller overstride. You were also striking on the heel on this left foot before, and now we've got a really pretty nice mid-foot landing, which is great. Now let's draw a line up from the leading ankle, and you can see now, to start with, it skimmed the leading knee. Now it is going right underneath it. So if I draw a line up from the foot to the knee this time, you can see that those braking forces and that negative shin angle that was there before has gone. So even though this is slightly in front of your center of mass, that is normal. About 2 to 3 inches is perfect position. There's things about this that can get better, but this is really good, and this is really positive change. And then when we play it, you can quite clearly see the difference. Let's have a look at what happens on the right leg. Look at that heel moving. So we were about knee height before. Let me draw that line on for you. So I think you're actually a little bit lower than this. So let's say we were roughly there before. Let's see how much higher it gets. Significantly higher, and this gap here close to the butt is really, really nice. You can see that the knee comes through, absolutely fantastic, leading with the knee. The foot gets slightly out in front there, so one of the things that we would want to do in a strength program for you is really focus on eccentric knee end hamstring strength, but without doing any strength work in this particular session, we've seen some really positive changes. And then as you strike the ground, if you struck the ground there, not quite, just striking the ground here on this foot. So let's have a look at this. We draw a line down. Not every foot strike is created equal. Here's from the center of mass. You can see it's probably on this occasion slightly further in front, possibly. I might be being a little bit picky there. Let's draw a line up from the ankle, different color this time. It still goes through that leading knee. Let's change the color. So we draw a line from the, let's change the color, apologies. Try and make it easier to see. Yeah. Possibly a very, very, very slight negative shin angle. That's being super picky. That is a good position. And you can see that the foot, the gap between the knees has closed very, very significantly, and it's roughly the same as the yellow line at the bottom from center of mass to the heel. So this is now starting to look like a really, really good position. I'm going to play it again. What you're looking for, we're looking at where the foot's striking, we're looking at the high heel recovery, which is a great sign that with activation work and some running drills to re-educate, we have got your posterior chain firing much more actively. Fantastic. Now, the final thing that we spoke about was we wanted the hand to go from pocket to socket. We spoke about the importance of a dynamic movement back with the elbow and the arms go forward and back. Okay, so we wanted to take away that upper body rotation. Now, the arms give us rhythm, balance, and speed, which I've said already. And yeah, I think you're going to see when I play it again, a really nice dynamic arm action, which is giving you rhythm and it is speeding up the cadence of your feet. So there is a direct link from your legs to your arms, and your arms give you the rhythm and your legs are responding to that really nicely. Good, and just keep running. Nice and tall. Keep the arms. Absolutely brilliant. I'm delighted with that in what is a relatively small space of time. It's much longer than a normal running biomechanics session for somebody, but it just shows the amount of progress that can be made, and you've done superbly there. But it requires practice to make it automatic, feel more normal and relaxed, and get you doing it without thinking. But really, really well done.